Shalom Yasharallah, this is Yeshaya. I want to kind of preface this video by saying if you're looking for something deep, something prophetic in this video, you're not going to find it. This is a simple topic that, one thing I find in this truth is that the simple topics have to be discussed because we're heading into the new kingdom that we're going to be rulers in, and we need to learn how to not only address these topics, but also we really need to just teach our people these topics. So this video is more about going into how our women became sexualized in 2020, so-called 5 now. You know, you have women, and they've been doing this for a number of years, especially with social media. But just to kind of get to a scripture, that's why I took my hat off. 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner, also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broided hair or gold. Now, first, I'm going to go back to where it says, women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Adorn, let's go into the definition of adorn. You know, adorn meaning, okay, it says make more beautiful or attractive. So there's nothing wrong with a woman dressing attractive. Nothing wrong whatsoever with a woman dressing attractive. What becomes the problem, because we don't go into that. We say adorn themselves, or we make it seem like adorn just means dress in modest apparel. No, you should look good. You should look attractive. But you should look attractive yet respectable, right? It's one thing where I look over at a sister in the truth and be like, wow, that's a beautiful sister. There's a lot of women in this truth that I think are very beautiful. And I've met a lot of women that are pretty, beautiful, whatever, all those attributes, right? But when I see these women in the truth, the last thing I should want is to look at them sexually. And that's where we got the problem. Now, I'm a man that can admire a woman without wanting to lay down with her. And that's the way we really should be. But for one, we also have to factor in that this world itself is hypersexual. Everything is sex, right? So it became kind of a difficult thing. I had to work on myself because the world really, everything is sex, sex, sex. And these women that are out there in that world, they don't make it any easier. You know, I know plenty of women on my social media that are always naked or half naked or in bathing suits, which that's what we're going to go into the history of too. We're going to go into the history of why black women in 2025 post pictures and videos of themselves in bathing suits. I just saw one today. Chick was in her apartment in a bathing suit. Bitch, where the fuck are you going to go? You don't live by no beach. You know, that's how bad it is. They want to show you their sexuality. It says, adorn themselves in modest apparel. The apparel should be nice looking, but it has to be modest, right? With shamefacedness and sobriety. So you're supposed to carry yourself humble, not with broided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. So not with everything all, looking all glamorous, you know what I'm saying? But respectable. And the next verse says, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. So basically, I'm going to go into the topic now that I'm going to start driving. And I'm going to say that when I looked into it recently, I looked into it just a few days ago. Maybe, I think it was yesterday or the day before that. Because I made this video 2 or 3 times over, but I really wanted to go into scripture. So one thing I've noticed about the way black and brown women go on social media, you know, we always say, and there's another scripture I'm going to quote. It says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. It's in the proverb somewhere. I forgot exactly because my memory is getting bad when I'm getting old. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduceth them. So we know that 92% to 100% of all the wickedness that we do, we've learned from other nationalities, other races, other people. And this whole idea of posting I'm going to tell y'all this. The most naked a woman can possibly get that is acceptable for the consumption of society in large is a bikini, which is basically a two-piece bathing suit. And the bikini was created, I believe, in 1948. I'm sure it was somewhere in Hawaii. And even the bikini wasn't meant to be sexual. It's just, hey, you know what? Let me go for a swim. Let me, whatever. But because the bikini pretty much puts a woman in a bra and panties. That's all it really is. Let's be honest. It's a waterproof bra and panties. It doesn't have all the padding that a bra has. It's a bra and panties. So something happened in 1964. Sports Illustrated created what's called the swimsuit edition. So once a year, they had an edition or basically a magazine full of naked women. You might not say naked. They got their boobs and their ass covered, but they're pretty much naked for all intents and purposes. And you got to ask yourself, this is not Playboy, this is Sports Illustrated. What the fuck do a nigga hitting a baseball, or what do a football, a touchdown have to do with women showing off their nakedness? Well, what it is that a lot of the same guys that like watching baseball games, drinking beer, also like naked women. So hence the swimsuit edition. So now you got women, very prominent women of the, not even related to the sporting community, just models and shit, showing their nakedness off, which America loved that shit, right? It's beautiful. It's, really it's sexual. Let's be real. It's sexual. It's sleazy. And then you blame men for being over sexual and then sexualizing women. Women sexualize themselves a lot of times. Sad to say. Because women had to sign up, but then you got to understand too, you got money hungry women out here. You got women with bills and things like that, and especially now you got single motherhood. Fast forward to the modern era where you have social media. So now you have women that are getting butt ass naked or almost naked. There's a very prominent scene. Well, the scene itself isn't very prominent, but it's very profound in Lakeview Terrace, the movie with Samuel L. Jackson, where he tells his daughter, "You're out here dancing in your underwear," and she had a bikini on. So you have to understand where this comes from. Ultimately, our women going out here half naked and all that shit, that really comes from white women. And it's not to put blame on white people for our sorrow, but this is what the problem is with race mixing. We have to stop going around races and ethnicities that show us how to do wrong. Women being half naked is evil, and I'm going to tell you why it's evil. It's because it arouses feelings of sex, and sex is biologically a lot more powerful than what we're giving it credit for. We think just, oh yeah, I just busted a nut in a bitch. No, now her body is trying to acclimate to your body, but then tomorrow she's gonna fuck another guy, and now her body's gonna be confused. Now, okay, I got two sets of DNA that I'm trying to accustom to, and it just becomes an ongoing thing as you add more bodies to the count. So how does this affect us as a people? 2025, you have black women out here showing their nakedness and all that, and then you had the sexual revolution where women went out and said, hey, whatever men can do, we could do. That affected a lot of things. That affected now a lot of times men look up to women to the effect where they want to be women. You know, so that you got the trans community. You got guys that like men. You know, all that. Once you start taking sex out of whack, then everything falls like a domino, right? Or like a house of cards. Now you got a nation of people that are sexually confused. We don't know what we're supposed to, you know, you got guys out here that sleep with fucking trannies like they're really women. You got trannies out here tricking men. You know what I'm saying? You got trannies out here that have gotten such work done that you really think they women. You got men fighting women because it goes further than just sex. It goes into genders not understanding what their fucking role is. We got into a point where you have half of black women saying there are no gender roles and the other half is saying, no, men are supposed to be providers, but we don't have to be soft and we don't have to listen to them. This is the impact that the sexualization, and then you have women like Angel Reese, who's a fucking airhead. And I'm glad Stephen A. Smith and whoever Tory Hunter is addressed her hypocrisy. Because this dumbass, Angel Reese, she gonna pose half naked in a dress for New Year's, so-called New Year's, and then get mad at the backlash and take down her IG page. Because you went in public and said, oh, I don't like being sexualized. Well, look, dummy, you just sexualized yourself. Oh, she's 22. Who gives a fuck? You don't want, I damn sure would never want my daughter wearing no shit like that. I certainly would never want my daughter wearing no shit like that. We have to get past it. Like, we have to stop the hypocrisy. Don't tell men, oh, you shouldn't look at us this way, but then show us you in that way. Like, you know, it's evil, it's horrible, and it's causing a lot of dysfunction and disorder among the black and Latino community. If white people choose to live their lives that way and they're okay with women showing off their sexuality and bra burning and all that shit, let them do that. Don't let you black and Latino people do that shit, because we and Latinos are horrible with that too. They the worst. Latino and Caribbean women, y'all stay in fucking bathing suits because we come from countries that are hot, but so do Arabs. Now, I dated a couple Muslim women. They dressed very respectfully. One of them, I went to the beach with a couple times, fully garbed up, but had just as much fun. So, what the fuck? Like, you don't need to be naked to have fun. That's all that mentality, that Caucasian race mixing. And when I say race mixing, it doesn't have to be in a sexual sense, but race mixing meaning that we integrate with them and then we start learning their ways, because the ways of the wicked seduced us. Even the gangsterism, that comes from fucking white people. It doesn't come from us. That's not our culture. Our culture isn't to destroy people and kill people. Our culture is to uplift. And part of it is we have to stop this whole idea that it is even acceptable for our women to walk around. And I'm glad that Stephen A. Smith actually took up, or not took up, actually he berated and rebuked Angel Reese. You know, but anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. And hopefully, you know, our women learn to do better, become better wives to you young men. You know, but with that, I'm going to say shalom.